What is going on, guys? DBG here, and this is episode number 11 of the series where I rate your squads. So, pretty much in this series, I rate people's squads and give suggestions. And also, if you guys want me to rate your squad, tweet me on Twitter, follow me on Twitter at DBGYT_, and tweet me with a picture of your team. Just tell me how much MT you are willing to spend and also what your playstyle is. So, this guy right here, and also actually tweet me the hashtag #RateMyTeam because that is how I find these pictures, or well, these squads. So this guy right here, drive and kick a lot, pick and roll / pops, all positions 1 to 3 must have clamps, which is fair. Like your bigs being able to shoot the ball on 100k budget, saving MT for spotlights. So your 1 to 3 on your starters and bench is fine. Again, because they're all cards, not necessarily going to call them free, but cards that cannot be sold. There is no point even upgrading any of your 1s or 2s or upgrading Richard Jefferson. Your 1 to 4 in your start lineup is fine. I think Jackson's alright, but one thing is, when running Jaren Jackson, you should always have an extra center on the end of the bench. Even someone like a Miles Turner, because Miles Turner has got much better strength, because the problem with Jackson is that he can be bullied very easily inside. If you're playing against someone who knows how to play, while Jackson has a great jumper, he blocks shots really well. He's got clamps. He's really quick for a big man. You can play bully ball on him, which is not great. So honestly, I think that he is kind of the one negative in the team. I also don't really like Blake, but Blake is really good, so I'm not going to argue that. I'd replace Kemp with like an out-and-out center and someone like a Miles Turner, who's only going to cost you a couple of KMT. J.R. Smith, I don't know how usable he is, but he's not terrible. He's not as good as Ryder or Brandon Roy, which, to be fair, he's one of your last three on the bench, but he's fine considering he's locked in and technically you can't get any MT from him. Ennis Smith Jr., I'm not going to... If you have someone like Brandon Roy, use him. If you want to spend 100k, replace Dennis Smith with someone like a Jason Terry or something, but Dennis Smith's fine there. So overall, I'm going to give this team an 8.5 out of 10. This is a pretty good team. And yeah, to be fair, the only thing you really need to do is replace Kemp with a stronger center than Jaren Jackson. And other than that, especially for its price of literally nothing, it's pretty much a great squad right there. Okay, this squad right here, zoom in a bit more. No money spent team with no specific playstyle. Oh, that's worrying. That is worrying. If you don't have a playstyle, it is worrying. You like to run a player from each position in the final 3 at the bench. Fair. Have 80k willing to make any changes. So, honestly, I don't think that that's a bad team. Rest in peace, Kobe. I would not suggest to get rid of him because he's really good. I wouldn't suggest to get rid of Odom. I would not suggest to get rid of Baron Davis. Giannis is great. Ayton's great. The Jets, great. Vince is great. Vince, if you have the tokens, honestly, unless you're trying to do the spotlights, if you're trying to do the spotlights, obviously keep Vince. If you're not trying to do the spotlights, I'd sell Vince and just put in Isaiah Ryder. Because while Vince is better than Isaiah Ryder, it is so close that I'd rather just have the 80k MT rather than Vince. He does fine. I like Jackson. Blake, I don't know about Blake, but again, as one of your last 3, you have Bargnani, so he can come in instead of Blake. So again, there is nothing really wrong with this team. Not exceptional, actually it's very good. Nearly all these squads I'm getting are pretty good squads. This again is a probably solid 8 to 8.5 out of 10. Pretty good team. Okay, made Twitter just you to rate my team. Right to run pick and pop and 5 out. Run 10 man rotation. Currently working on evos for Marcus Gasol and Jeremy Lin to go from diamond to pink diamond. So Lin, even at second diamond, is unbelievable. Pink diamond is even better. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that Giannis. I'm saying that right now. I don't know how I feel about that Diamond Giannis. Because, you know what? I'm 99% sure. With the way 2K are doing moments cards, dropping them multiple times a week, and it seems like moments a week is done, that we are going to get a moments Giannis sooner rather than later. A moments pink diamond one. And if we do, that Giannis becomes almost obsolete. Like, doesn't have quick first step like the Pink Diamond. He's so much worse. What I would suggest is to sell that Giannis, move Odom up to the 4, Granger up to the 3, and then, I don't know, just anyone in at the 2. Your bench, I like Penny. I think Penny's fantastic. Actually, because you've gone to the Opal tier, maybe you've got... and you have Brook Lopez, maybe you've got Ryder. If you've had the tokens to get Ryder, I would put him in for Granger. Or sorry, for Giannis. Move it out the others up a position. Wilkins, I'm not the biggest fan of him, but he's not terrible. Penny's very good. Hito's good. Serge Ibaka. I think Serge Ibaka's okay, but if you have Paul Millsap, I put him in over Ibaka, and Brook Lopez is fine. I know I've been kind of critical on this team. That's because I'm normally a lot more critical when I'm looking at Opals, because, well, they're higher overall, and I know they cost a lot more money to get, but this team right here it's good. Again, I think there are a few changes to be made to make it a great team, but again, it's another solid, like, 8 out of 10 team. 8.5 out of 10. Like, that's a good team right there. That is a very, very good team. So, run Simmons ISO at the point because he's huge. Do pick and pops with Lopez and JR. Don't use bench and have 100k MT. Okay, so even if you don't use your bench, as horrible as this is to say, just replace them all bronzes. Replace them all bronzes, lower your team overall. But what I would suggest is, I don't know, like, I don't even think that that's a great team. Like the starting 5. You've got JR, who's outdated. Like, good, but outdated. You've got Clyde, who wasn't even good when he came out. You've got Amari Stoudemire, who's, again, very outdated. And you got Brook Lopez, who's slow. You've got 2 guys at range extender on the team, and one of them's your center. You won't be like, if you get caught in a switch on a guard, it's game over. Your bench, you don't even have the opportunity to use your bench because you've got a bunch of guys that are worthless on it. But to be fair, these are all cards that are basically locked in except Leitner. I don't know. Like, even that starting 5, I'm sorry, he's like a 6 out of 10 at best. Simmons is fantastic. You got a couple of alright players. I'm guessing you literally use Lopez and Simmons. And JR, obviously, as you say, using pick and pops. I assume that Drexler and Amari are just there to sit there and play defense. And even still, Drexler doesn't have clamps, so there's no point using Drexler for defense. Again, I know you have Drexler, but it doesn't mean you should use Drexler. But being completely honest, as much as I don't even like Havlicek, you might as well just use Havlicek, because Havlicek at least has got clamps. This is a weak team. I'm sorry, this is a fairly weak team. With the 100k MT, honestly, spending 3k MT on Landry Fields Ruby is better than Drexler. He's also probably better than J.R. Smith, to be honest. And yeah, you can get cards for 5-6k MT. There's so many that are almost as good as JR and better than Clyde. So yeah, I think you definitely need a couple of changes on that team. Okay, so this team right here, run ISO ball and kick the shooters, or pick and roll / fades. Willing to sell players and replace on squad. So there is very, very little wrong with the squad. Honestly, your starting 5 is a solid 8.5 to 9 out of 10. Jet's fantastic. DeRozan's really good. Lamar Odom's great. Giannis is great. Nathan's great. You can't get much better than that. Like, that is a lineup that would compete with a God Squad type lineup. Trust me. Your bench, Smart's really good. Levine's really good. Lewis is good, not really good. But again, considering the fact he's tokens and you know how much MT, you cannot get much better. Millsap is one of the best power forwards in the game, and obviously Blake is an elite center because he's so fast. However, again, one of your last 3 off the bench, like, it doesn't even need to be a great center, because there are definitely times where Blake can be abused at the center position. I mean, even throwing in a Mirasan or a Sean Bradley or something, like, to play maybe those 3 or 4 minutes a game when Blake Griffin is getting abused, just kind of take the heat off the center. But no, it's This is a good team. This is an 8.5, maybe 9 out of 10 squad. I can't. Like Reggie Lewis and Blake are the only players that you can even consider upgrading. And again, you've got both of them pretty much, well, locked in. You can't sell them. So, honestly, fantastic team. Okay, so we have gone through 5. We have got 5 more teams right here. So, this team right here, I like to clamp on defense and run the fast break. Also run pick and pop or 5 out, whatever works. Only 10k MT. So, first thing I would say is Jamal Wilkes is a bit of a liability as a shooter. I would get rid of Wilkes and I'd replace him with either Norman Powell, who plays the exact same role, but I think actually has better animations than Wilkes, or someone like a Landry Fields and evo him up to Ruby. I like Josh Smith, but I wouldn't run him at the 3, to be honest. I don't really like the West, but a lot of people do, so I'm not going to question that. I'd 100% swap Josh Smith and Hito. Run Josh Smith at the 4 because he's a much better post defender and rebounder, and run Hito at the 3. Also on the bench, yeah, I would say maybe swap Kirilenko and Marcus Morris, but Marcus Morris is fine to be around at the 4. And Karl Anthony Towns at the 5 is fine. To be honest, like I would sell Karl Anthony Towns and replace him with Bargnani. Those two cards are basically the same card, except Bargnani is a lot cheaper than cash. But overall, not a bad team. Decent defensive team. Actually a good defensive team. An okay shooting team. So I'll give it a 7.5 out of 10 for this stage in the game. Not bad at all, but nothing spectacular. So made Twitter account, just me to rate the team. Do lots of kick out to corner 3s to forwards and centers. Have 100k MT left to spend. Okay, so first of all, Evo up Hito Turkoglu. He's a liability while not evoed. However, once he is evoed, he's fantastic. Also, Evo up as soon as possible. Both Jeremy Lin and Dion Waiters. Because Dion Waiters at Ruby's actually alright, but Jeremy Lin at Amethyst is not very good. So it's one of those ones where you need Hito up at Diamond, you need Lin up at Diamond, otherwise they're not very good. Marcus Morris, fine. Bargnani, fine. Put Zion probably in for Giannis. Zion at the 3 off the bench. Or even start Zion because you got some height in Lamar Odom. And put Hito off your bench maybe. I don't know. I like Miles Turner. I like the fact you have Exum in there. So, honestly, for like a real budget squad, I don't think you really need to make any changes to the squad. Honestly, just switch around a few people. Maybe put in someone like, I hate the way I keep mentioning these same guys, like Landry Fields at the 3. Or like a Keith Van Horn or something instead of Giannis, because I don't really rate that Giannis. But you've got Zion who can play there, and Zion does an alright job as Diamond, even though his pink Diamond's way, way better. The Diamond still does an alright job there. So, honestly, this team's a solid 7.5 out of 10. Usable. Like, as is right now, it's a 6 out of 10. Maybe even a 5 out of 10, to be honest. But once the players are evoed up with these exact players, it's probably about a 7.5. Okay, so this team right here, willing to sell everyone except John Wall. That's a bit of a weird one because I'm not the biggest fan of John Wall card, but whatever. If he's your best card and you're not going to sell him, I'm not going to tell you to sell him. But, alright, let's have a look at this. So, Wilt, Blake, and Giannis. I'm telling you right now, that is not an effective three-man front court run. I'm telling you now, 3 of those is not going to be effective. Sure, it's going to be great defensively, but not the best offensively. I would, because you can get a whole load of MT for Wilt, I would sell Wilt. You can get probably Wilt and replace him with Embiid, who's better than Wilt, and also save like 50k MT. Embiid in there, I would then run Giannis at... I don't like Giannis at the 3. I really don't like Giannis at the 3. I think selling Siakam and buying Josh Smith wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. Or you can sell Siakam. You can buy a small forward, push Giannis to the starting 4, put Blake as your power forward off the bench, and put in a small forward for like 20k MT who could be a bit more effective than a Siakam. And I don't even know if there's many of them. Hey, I keep mentioning this guy about Landry Fields. He'll do the job. He'll do the job till someone better comes along, basically. These guys are like, you know, in the WWE when there's like transitional champions when they don't want one person to, or it's like temporary champions. Like cards like Landry Field and Norman Powell, and I don't know, Jonathan Isaac, or not Jonathan Isaac, what's his name, Jaren Jackson Jr. are like transitional players. They're like temporary players. They're when there's going to be a better upgrade, but there's not right now, but you just know there's going to be a better upgrade for cheaper. And by the time, you might as well get the most MT for your cards, which is selling right now rather than waiting. So doing that and then replacing with like a temporary card like a Landry Fields could work, make your team equally as good. And if you replace Siakam with Landry Fields and pushed Blake Griffin to your power forward to bench, Giannis to power forward, Fields to small forward, and then replace Will Chamberlain with Joel Embiid, you've made a whole lot of MT and your team is equally as good. And you can stall it out. You probably will have about 70, 80k MT for when 2K releases good cards in the future. So I play a lot of triple threat and domination at the moment, but I'm just waiting and wanting to get more into online. Just not sure if the team is good enough yet. So you shouldn't have locked in for Lillard. You should not have done that. And you definitely should not have locked in for Taco Fall. You should definitely not have done that. So the team is all right. You will get murdered online with that team. So basically, what I would do is Shea is really good, but I don't know how great he is if he's worth the MT for a team like this. For some players he is. I don't particularly think for you he's worth that MT. So I would sell Shea and get like 90% of Shea back in Dante Exum for way, way cheaper. You've then made a lot of MT. I would also sell Brandon Ingram and get better Brandon Ingram and Hito Turkoglu. So getting the two of those guys in there, you've made a fair amount of MT and your team is basically even. I would push Bosch to your backup center, and I would buy someone like a Josh Smith or a Kirilenko or something, a power forward. And yeah, then that team will be kind of usable. This team right here, like you got DeAndre Jordan, who online is going to get eaten alive. You've got Dame Lillard, who's going to get eaten alive without his clamps. You got Michael Jordan and Zion, who, while each of them are good individually, not a good partnership in the backcourt. You've got Odom, who's great, but you've got a really, really slow front court of Bosch and Yaming, your starters, who again, if a person knows what they're doing and is running someone like a Giannis, you're going to get eaten alive. So this team isn't awful. I can't give it more than a 6 out of 10, to be honest, though. A few changes just need to be made. Had you not locked in for someone like Lillard, the changes would have been a lot easier, but nah, there is, like, this team will dominate offline, absolutely dominate offline, but there are definitely some major flaws with using it online. There are some players that will just get straight up eaten alive, and there is massive liabilities on your bench, both your stars and your bench. Okay, so use Hito Turkoglu at power forward and Zion a small forward. Don't give Cliff Hagan any minutes. He's terrible, so that's fair. Okay, so you're starting 5. Okay, yeah, that makes a little more sense. Hito a power forward, Zion a small forward. I'm telling you this right now. If this is your team, sell Kawhi Leonard. If you've got no interest in going for Marbury or Brandon Roy, sell Kawhi. Kawhi is your best player by a mile, but on a team like this, Kawhi can be like the 3rd best player on a God squad. However, if you want to run everything through Kawhi, you can get cheaper players to do that. So what I would do is suggest to sell Kawhi. You got your 200k then, or your 150k, whatever he is. Sell Kawhi, sell Boogie, sell Bam, sell Grant Hill, sell Earl Monroe. He actually goes for a decent amount of MT nowadays. This is like a 5.5 out of 10 team. Just sell your whole team, except for Hito. Keep Hito and maybe keep Zion since he's kind of locked in. But sell that whole team and start from scratch and watch the DBG channel. This team, honestly, this team total is about 400k, I'd say. Like you're getting 200k, close to 100k from Shea. It's probably about 300, 350k MT, and for 350k, this is an awful, awful team for this price. Not gonna lie. But again, like, there are some good players, and I could definitely see how you can go out and use this team. And the funny thing is you've said you're using Grant Hill off the bench for clamps, and ironically enough, Grant Hill doesn't have clamps. But yeah, so it's weird because this is a somewhat usable team, but for the price, you can get so much better. But anyway, that's the video. Thank you guys for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe.